Welcome to another Quantum Conversation, brought to you by AcousticHealth.com. I'm Loren Gailey, and I invite you to sit back as we enter the quantum realm, that space of the greater part of you. It is your connection to infinite possibilities, infinite potential, and infinite mastery. And welcome, everyone. We are here to talk about experiencing life through multidimensionality. And we are here with our high vibe friend, Zoe Davenport. She is here to talk all about this and the great shift that is underway on such a collective level and such a deeply personal level. Zoe, thank you for being here. Welcome back.
Thank you so much, Fran. I'm so excited. Yes.
Yes, this is such a beautiful space with Zoe because she really does bring us into a space that is very present and aware. And this is a connection where we can actually work with our crystalline aura and our crystalline self. And so that is multidimensional. And we're going to talk about that. But first, Zoe, let's talk about what's going on in our collective. When we keep our eye on the prize, we can see the beautiful things that are happening. And this is a time where we have to be astutely aware of our energy and our own creations. Can you talk a little bit about that and how you're handling it?
Yeah, I'd love to. I would say for me, I just keep getting the message from my higher self. Frequency is the most valuable asset and tool that we have. It's the most valuable currency because our frequency is our ability to shift in and out of different dimensional experiences. And when we're in an expanded frequency, when we're in alignment, when we're in flow, when we're grounded, the ability to transmute the fear, the ability to move beyond what we perceive to be chaos or move beyond what we perceive to be falling apart. We find that little sweet spot in the middle of neutrality. And so really everything that we're doing right now should always have a conscious awareness of, am I expanded in my truth when I'm thinking these things, when I'm doing these things? Am I really in alignment, or am I playing into somebody else's version or story? And, social media is a feeding frenzy for frequency control. And especially when you start kind of like going offline, like off spiritual line, and start coming online with the kind of the scrolling and the receiving of information, you want to be really careful in, how is your energy feeling before you did that? And how's your energy during? And how does your energy feel now? Or conversations with people, like, are the conversations you're having serving you? Are you feeling expanded? Well, I know when I have conversations that are in alignment, I feel energy. I feel energized. My heart feels open. I feel like the vibration. I'm like, let's do this. Come on. This feels really good. Compared to when I've maybe lost sight of being in alignment with what my truth is. And, the truth is around like you will find a truth of what your version of reality is, because the ego will happily show you events and people, places, and things and synchronicity to validate that truth. And we have to keep coming back into our center and our grounding and our knowing that beyond this, there lies a different awareness and a different ability to have our human experience that's more from an expanded perspective as opposed to contracting our energy. So I don't know if Loren is still there or she's wandered off. Did we lose you, Loren? She walked into the sky and she disappeared into a different dimension. This is what we talk about, multidimensionality. Oh, we'll wait for her to come back. Oh, there she is.
Oh, the beauty of live streaming. We are taking care of that. And so we are welcoming everyone for being here with us. Zoe, you were talking about the vibration, really the frequency, and it really is a frequency, and how we just look into everything with our conversations and how it makes us feel. And you're right about social media. It is something of our world that really doesn't feel right. So, isn't it interesting that we have to? No, I don't want to use that word have to, but it is a place where there's a lot of people, there's traffic. And so, the new earth way forward with that vibration, with that energy, is to engage with it as a powerful tool, right? It can be a very powerful tool, but yet we have to set the parameters and come from a place of integrity when using it, would you say?
Yeah, I mean, it's the same with anything that's still operating in a subconscious 3D reality and system. It's the same when you put Netflix on. If you're going to watch a film, just be mindful that you're going to lose consciousness while you're doing that. There's nothing wrong with that. Enjoy the human experience of watching a film for entertainment purposes, but just recognize that, you know, come back to yourself after. And it's the same with the use of social media. It's the same with with conversations. It's all of it. It's your reality, your experience, what you're bringing into your field, what you're allowing and what you're disallowing. And so when we talk about multidimensionality, we've got to keep reminding ourselves that we are multidimensional. And what is multidimensionality? Well, it's the ability to understand the 3D perspective through the lens of a higher state of consciousness. How do we access that? Well, we raise our frequency. How do we raise our frequency? We're mindful of the things we're doing every day, the conversations we're having, the things we're looking at. What are we feeding ourselves? Are we feeding ourselves with joy, appreciation, gratitude? Do you wake up in the morning and say, thank you? Thank you, this is a gift to be here. Or do you wake up feeling like you got run over by a truck? Ready to start another day of the same stuff, right? We got to break the habits. We got to break the mold. We got to trick the mind beyond what it likes to feel comfortable and safe in, which is familiarity. It's the same, you know, you get people, they park in the same car parking spot, you know, someone else parks in that spot and they kind of feel a little bit like, oh, you know, taken aback. I think we need to park in new spots every single time to keep the energy flowing, to keep it moving in a different direction for what's possible. And the reason why humanity got so stuck is because we've been on this linear train, this perspective that this is all there is. But you and I both know, and everyone listening to this conversation know that there's something beyond that. But how do we embody it? We embody it by the constant reminder that there is something beyond what we may see. And we got to keep breaking up the habits and changing our flow. And just being wary of, is the thing that I just did that actually serve me? You know, and so the things like the frequency control, you know, and I want to share this, Loren, as well, because there's a lot of kind of like posts, everyone gets very type happy around, you know, censorship online. And
Yes.
the thing is, these Facebook, YouTube, they're corporations. They have a vested interest through their investors in what they're going to allow to be made mainstream and what they're not going to allow. There's no interest for us as the general people that use it, right? And so instead of getting angry with their censorship, well, of course there's going to be censorship because that's their investment, that's the corporation. But what do we want to do instead? Well, we know that that's going to happen. So maybe if we have a voice and there's something that we want to share, and maybe there's a sense that it won't get distributed, there's other ways to connect with people outside those particular platforms. And there's ways to share information beyond those platforms. And I also feel that social media is an amazing tool for sharing truth and waking people up. But we have to remember that, you know, the corporations that own these tools, they're not awake. They're not operating from a multidimensional perspective. They're not like, oh, great, Zoe's just dropped a truth bomb about 3D consciousness. Let's make this go viral. They're not going to do that. But we have the power in what we're choosing to spend our time and energy. right? Instead of getting frustrated and recognizing, well, how do we feel actually using these certain systems? And it's not to be off completely social media, but there are other things that are coming into place. So it's just something to be mindful of. Like, instead of feeling frustrated by it, understand, well, that's the corporation. We're actively choosing to be on these platforms because we've been sold, we've convinced ourselves there's no other alternative. Well, there is. We're having a conversation right now that is off social media, right? We're streaming to social media as an addition, as an extra. But right now, this conversation is very much live. It's present. We're listening to this, even on the replay. And so I think as we move forward, we just want to be more, what are we spending our time doing? How is our frequency? And that will start to shift. That will start to bring in more pleasing experiences, and also getting super real with yourself and commanding your reality into presence. If there's something that you don't like, there's something that you're frustrated with, is there something that isn't quite working out, sit down with a pen and paper and map it out. Get crystal clear. What do you want instead? What do you want to create? Because we give our power away when we lose focus on our frequency, because we contract our energy and we start to believe that nothing's possible. Everything is possible given enough time. We've just got to sit into the equation, and we understand the equation through our frequency and through our energy. What are you giving our focus and thoughts on? Right? And so that's what I have to share right now, because we could go into detail around the election and this and what's going to happen, but that's a future projection. None of that exists. The only thing exists is right here, right now, this conversation we're having.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Well, thank you for that, because, you know, there are other ways to communicate. The technology has gone around, it's just sprawled. And that's good, because Facebook can bring many people together. And also, you know, it's not just that platform. You're right. Right. There's so many ways to get out there, and it's beautiful. So where do we put our energy, and how do we monitor our frequency, right? So that we're not giving our power away. And so some of the cleansing that's going on, Zoe, individually, is this, you know, there's a lot of judgment. I think, you know, judgment, when we're talking sovereign, this notion of sovereignty, when we come into unity consciousness and sovereignty, we're starting to see it right now, where we have to honor wherever everybody is instead of judging, right? Because that's really what we need to overcome. So how do you maintain this non-judgmental observation? What's your tip?
So I just understand that everyone is on their line of existence of what reality is. And everything goes back to source eventually. Everything. Everything is source. Everything. And so the frustrations that people feel is, why can't they see my perspective? Right? But that also creates more duality. And so everything that people are looking at, because people want the truth of reality. What is reality? What is actually happening in reality? Well, reality will show you what you think is happening, and it will give you the set of circumstances and the conversations and the information. And so to break beyond that, we have to become multidimensional. We are multidimensional. There's no having to become. We are already that. We just have to sit in the nothingness of pure creative potential as to what we really want to embody and what we want to create and what we want to witness. And the systems of reality as we know it to be on planet Earth is crumbling. It's chaotic. It's nonsensical. There's not a linear timeline anymore. There's not a guaranteed set of circumstances that we can look forward to. Everyone has gone into this kind of, let's wait and see what happens. Well, that's also giving our power away. What do we want to happen? I personally choose to live in a reality of pure infinite bliss and joy. And when I'm not in that frequency, something's out of alignment. Maybe it's something I ate. Maybe it's a conversation I had. Maybe it's something that I'm not doing. Maybe I'm trying to do too much. Maybe I've just got to be. Maybe there's emotion that needs to be released. Maybe I'm not letting go. Maybe I'm in the past. Maybe I'm in the future. Maybe I'm worrying. Maybe my mind has gone on a little journey with itself. So we always want to be coming back into center, coming back into center, coming back into center. How is my frequency? How is my energy? How are my thoughts? How am I feeling navigating this experience? And it's not to close down or to shut off from the world events because we're feeling it deeply, but it's a representation of what we are ready to surrender within ourselves. It's like, the let go and let God. It's let go and let be. In that stillness and that nothingness, everything can resolve itself back into light. But we're not trying to run away from shadow, because everything has to be in equal balance, in synergy of itself. That's why consciousness wanted to understand the polarities of what light and dark is. And so the more we're regurgitating this information that we're at war, we're really just affirming that within ourselves. And so the integration piece is embodying all potential parts of ourselves, all potential realities, all potential outcomes. How could we still sit in complete bliss and joy if reality, humanity decided to completely self-combust, completely extinguish itself, while we live beyond what these flapping meat sacks are anyway? And so to really go beyond the fear of what could happen, there's nothing left to fear. And so then we're no longer giving our frequency away to the said powers that be that would control an outcome for something like that to happen. And that's when we really start to step into the quantum realm of existence, which means creating beyond anything that we could have ever imagined and anything that we could even think of now. And so we talk about the new timelines, we talk about new earth. It's within ourselves, but we've got to be in alignment with our frequency and coming back and finding that joy. And so how does it feel to let the world be in chaos and sit in the bliss of that chaos? How does it feel to sit within that bliss of the chaos, but knowing that as we sit in that bliss, we are in complete alignment with our soul's purpose and our galactic purpose? And we really start to come into presence, total presence, with the unity and compassion that wants to be witnessed within ourselves for humanity. And we're able to support from our most expanded frequency and our most expanded potential and perspective of what we want to create. And so as light workers, light leaders, way showers, however we wish to identify in these human forms, our role goes beyond the human frustrations. But we've got to be mindful, where is our energy going? Where are we giving our power away? What are we spending our days doing? And so that's the formula, right? And every day I ask my higher self, like, what do I need to do? I'm rolling up my sleeves. I'm like, okay, like I'm ready for a big impact. Higher self says sleep. Yeah, but that's not doing anything. I need to get out there. And higher self says sleep. So I sleep. Okay, I've slept. Okay, now what? I need to do this and do that. And higher self says, okay, today you do nothing. Clear your schedule. Yeah, but that's not doing anything. Higher self says, I know. That's the joy. That's the bliss. That's the frequency, right?
Yes. And because you're in that frequency, inspiration comes, ideas come, solutions come. It's like, if that's all we need to do, it's good. So this is really what balance is, right? I mean, well, it's higher self connection. It's listening to the higher self. But see how the ego mind comes in to say, wow, I must do something. And so those are like as we surrender to the higher self, that's the last vestiges of the ego coming in to say, no, wait, we can't do that. So we can identify that those are belief systems within us, right? And you can move them out and just listen to the higher self. Do you ever find
Mhm.
yourself overriding? Now you're probably such a pro at it, a master
Ah,
at it. But in the beginning, I bet you probably overwrote it. We all do. We're all like, right?
well, trust this weird mystical voice within me, and it actually is there to support me. Wow, what a game changer when we actually start listening and taking action on that.
Right.
But yeah.
Yes. Right. Okay. All right. So being in alignment with the frequency and sitting in the bliss, that's really good. I would like to just share a story because we can talk about it. This is what we're talking about with this shift within this last density. And so as we're all going through whatever we're each going through in our homes and in our lives, and this new focus, and this new energy awareness, I actually felt some sadness come up. And after I processed that, it came up pretty quickly and moved out pretty quickly. But then after I realized that, I listened to what my body wanted to do. And my body wanted me to start cleaning something, decluttering something. I found that very amazing. And so when I just turned and looked in my room, I saw a stack of books. And I just went into those books and I found some interesting things. And I saw Gnosis and the Law, and I opened up to chapter 13, and it said, now is the time for humanity to rise up and work in partnership with the ascended beings. And that was just a perfect message for me that day, that I continued to follow the signs and the synchronicities. And what happened was a beautiful, aligned connection, conversation, and just really cool things. That's the bliss that you're talking about, right? This is where we really just go in that flow and feel it from that heart perspective. So, again, moving out that density that could keep us distracted, moving it out and then opening to something so much brighter and lighter.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. Just through your clearing, the universe is like, here's a beautiful message and reminder for you. And there are so many ways that our higher selves are communicating with us on a daily basis. And it's really for us to slow down from the overthinking to receive that information, because when we're so present, we never miss anything. We never miss a turn. We never miss the next steps. We just have that deep, 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 deep knowing. But when we're charging ahead 1,000 miles an hour, or we're slugging behind in what was, we miss the beauty and we miss the miracles. And we want to be fine tuning our psychic mastery skills right now, so that in our waking experiences, and also when we're in dream time, maximizing the potential of flow state, of energy, of channeling, pulling energy through our being all day long, so that when we start to kind of feel out of alignment, we can catch ourselves before we move into this negative spiral, and we can come back into self. And you were mentioning, Naren, about starting to declutter. I cannot stress enough the power of looking at every single thing in your reality, like doing a life analysis. What do I have in my field? And I'm talking down to even like your digital space, your photos, your posts, your emails, your bank statements, your bills, your money. Where is your money? The banks you're using, are they in alignment with what you're wanting to create? Maybe they're not, but making a plan of action to start releasing that. What does your fridge look like? Does your fridge look like a temple for food? Or is everything just kind of shoved in and like, rotting stuff at the back, mixed of sell by date things? How is your wardrobe? Are you honoring and blessing the sacred fabrics that you're wearing on a daily basis, or is it just chucked into a big pile? You know, what is the company that you're keeping? Are there maybe friends that you know aren't in alignment for you anymore? It's okay to let them go. You don't even need to say anything, right? It sounds harsh, but we want to be clearing right now to give us the best chance at being in our highest state of frequency. And the decluttering of physical items is an amazing start, middle, and end. And it's something that I constantly do, because if things that I have in my physical possession, if they don't make sense to me, I don't have them. I pass them, I gift them to others. Even crystals. I've bought entire crystal collections before now. So many crystals. And I'll wake up one day and my higher self said, okay, it's time. I'm like, well, time for what? To release your crystals. My ego is like, but they're my precious little items. And I'm shown, okay, you gift half of them and you bury the rest back into the earth. They want to go home. And so it's releasing that attachment, right, to people, places, and things, help us to be freer when it comes to the immense amount of movement of energy and plasma rays that are hitting the planet, because we can be in a state of receiving when we're not clogged down with all the stuff of the people, places, and things. And so, you know, actually, coincidentally, I'm going on a juice cleanse tomorrow for 3 days. And I'll be honest, Loren, like, I'm not one of these people that constantly fasting and juicing, and like I actually do it very rarely, because my body needs food, otherwise I just float off into outer space. But this time around, my body was like, it called it in really strongly. So I was like, okay, so, you know, but I do know after fasting and clearing, I do feel a deeper connection. Like there is something that happens when we're not kind of stuffing ourselves to really go inwards. But also through that cleansing, I'll do a social media detox as well. So I won't be online for 3 days. I won't check my emails, and I'm just going to really go in. And so even blocking out chunks of time like that, not necessarily having to do a juice cleanse, but just blocking out chunks of time sporadically throughout your year, or listening to when that needs to happen, and paying attention to that, and really going in, because in is where all the answers are. This heart is a portal of infinite knowledge and wealth. It has everything that we need, all of our messages, all of our guidance, the know-hows, the what, the when, the who's. And we gotta, as I was sharing before, breaking the daily habit to start stepping into the quantum, into flow state. And we do that by mixing things up, parking in a different spot, listening to our bodies, paying attention, right?
Yes. Yes. Beautiful. Oh my goodness. All right. So we are really astute here now on where we're putting our energy and our frequency and our vibration. And I love that you're Maria Kondoing it.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, she actually took something very simple and is showing how important that is. So I know one is like looking around saying, okay, what do we need declutter? And in this process, we've been going through it. Yeah, I know people, you know, if you're at home, you're actually spending more time. So it's coming natural. And so that's pretty cool. So here we are, we're talking about multidimensionality. And it is all about the energy and where we're giving our energy, be it social media and all of it. And so, you know, when you were saying how you take a juice fast, we call it a fast, but it really should be a slow down because of what transpires when you're not preoccupied with, you know, putting food in your body. So that's really very interesting. And I know that, you know, here we are coming up on an equinox. This would be a great time for people to look at that and see where they need to balance in their life. So you have got a beautiful, let's do an activation with you, Zoe, something to assist us with the bliss state and to come into balance in all ways, in all areas. in this time, really to be the eye and the calm, the calm eye in the calm in the eye of the storm.
I love that. Yeah, of course, I'd love to. Okay, well, if everyone is ready, just take a moment and just saying out loud, I am open to receive. I'm open to receive the energies that want to come through me. I'm open to receive any clearings. I'm open to receiving any support through my higher self. I'm open to receive myself. I'm open to receive myself. And so as I start to just bring the energies through, having the palms of your hands facing upwards, resting lightly on the tops of your legs. And you can close your eyes if you wish, just to bring your energy inwards and focusing on the spot between your eyebrows. And just taking a nice deep cleansing breath through your nose and out through your mouth. In through your nose, out through your mouth. And then just breathing in through your nose and out through your nose. And just almost bringing your awareness into your breath by lightly breathing in for counts of 4 and out for counts of 4. And just sending a cord of light from the root, the base of your spine, all the way down into the earth, into the crystalline core of Gaia. It's just feeling your energy anchoring down, grounding, nourishing. And then from the crystalline core of Gaia, imagine beautiful ruby red energy coming all the way up through the layers of the earth, all the way up through your feet, your legs, and up into your roots. So just anchoring down. And then just imagine your heart starting to open in a beautiful emerald green. And then from the center of the earth now, imagining a golden energy, rose gold, all the way up through the earth, all the way up into your root, rose gold energy, all the way up into your sacral, all the way up into your solar plexus, all the way up into your heart, all the way up into your throat, all the way up into your third eye, and all the way up into your crown. And imagine this rose gold energy just bursting out through your crown, opening, widening out your crown to release any energy, any stagnation, and allowing this rose gold energy up into the sky, up into the cosmos, up into the atmosphere, and imagining it looping all the way back round again underneath the planet and all the way through the crystalline core of Gaia and all the way back up again. So you just feel this column, this circle of energy. As we call in the 4 directions of the north, the east, the south, and the west, and in all ascended masters, guides, angels, elementals, fairies, dragons, higher selves, and any beings not here for the highest good to go home and evolve out of the space now, opening a divine crystalline healing chamber of light. And as you focus on your third eye, focus on the transmission that you are receiving through the words that we are speaking to you now. And just breathing, allowing yourself to be open to receiving, and imagining a cascading waterfall of golden energy floating down through the sky and just purifying your entire being, your auric space, from almost like thousands and thousands of droplets of rose gold energy just flooding through your system and all the way down into the earth. And just breathing in and breathing out. Ketaria no tu mosuma. Itaria moku mataria motu shushu paria mataria no ko yamasa su yama. Ikaria no tu yasutu mataria no diamadaria no ko sataria mako yamaka yo jurt saka taria no tu ko tu katia no tu skutayam tu jurt yamata tu Sariana motu ya makaria no tu ma saya no tu maria no tu masaria no ku masaria no ku ma yo so so. Akariando to, riando to, yamatarion to, yetarion to, ritruniato to. Sariamakata, riando to, yamata, shu. Atariamato to, yamata, tort. Sakamator, papa, Sariyamator, Sariyamata, Niyamo, su, Sariyamata, Skuyamata, to, Samyata, Tutuyamato, Sakamyata, su, taking a deep breath in and deep breath out. So. Kita matari na Suya mataya koya paya turta paya suyama iyama su skumaya maya mo suyama Shuryamata, and just letting everything go that you're holding on to. Suyamata, everything down into the earth. Suyamata, allowing these light frequencies to come through your being. Sutuyamata, and just being open to receive the transmission of light through your third eye. And just focusing on any symbol or color that wants to come through your third eye now, and focusing on this spot. Just placing your hands together in front of your heart, bowing your head to your heart. Take a deep breath in. Deep breath out. Taking a few moments to allow these energies to integrate within your being. Su. Rubbing your hands together to create some heat. And just placing them over your eyes. And just taking a moment in this space, feeling the warmth of the hands on your eyes and your third eye. Coming back into resonance with you, the you truly are in your most expanded form, your most expanded self of everything that is coming for you, everything that is lining up. Just taking a moment in gratitude as to the wonderment of what is to unfold for you from this space, the space of expansion. Take a moment to go inwards within yourself, feeling the soles of your feet on the earth, grounding in, anchoring in this truth. Taking a deep breath in, deep breath out. Deep breath in, deep breath out. When you're ready, just slowly opening your eyes and removing your hands and bringing them down. Maybe giving yourself a little hug, a little squeeze. Maybe massaging your temples, squeezing your ears, opening your jaw, maybe smiling. Just coming back into presence, back into the conversation, back into yourself. And just feeling the light moving and circulating through every single cell of your being. Waking up your dormant strands of DNA, feeling your energy centers all opening, activating, all operational. And just feeling the light within you. The light of who you are. The light of your journey. Kitaria motuya masuturia natukuya. Asoya mo ka yato tu. Itaria no shuma. Itaria no moshoko. Sotoria mato. Sho. Thank you.
Wow, Zoe, thank you so much. That was tremendous. You have brought through new sounds and new light language through you. That was amazing. Truly embodying those energies. It was almost like you could feel a DNA upgrade there. That was
Mm-hmm.
really cool. And it would be interesting to see what symbol other people got. I immediately saw an infinity symbol, purple and gold.
Oh,
And what was really cool when you toned, you said, have that. I totally felt my ears just expanding. It was like ringing in the ears. It was really wild.
oh wow. I love
Very
that.
wild. Awesome. All right. Thank you for that activation. This is indicative of the work that you do and the upgrades that you offer people. And I want to talk a little bit about the importance of cord cutting because, and we've done work with you in the past with cord cutting. It's
Mm-hmm.
amazing to see how many cords, there's cords with people that we don't even know, right? And literally every person that we have a judgment or an opinion of, or even just in passing in a moment. So this is really, when we're talking about energy, this is vital for us to maintain our energy. It felt like some of the cords through that activation we just went through were being released with that, especially in the torso for me. So can you share a little bit more about how cords are created and why it's so important to release them?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I just see them as like strands of light. And I see them as all of these, you know, okay, thanks. I was like, guys, help me out. How can I explain this in English? Sorry, because I'm so activated. Like, all I want to do is speak like language. So I'm like, hang on. I need to
Okay, go ahead.
remember,
Speak light language.
remember the words. It's just
We want what she's having. This is light language bliss. Go for it. Go for it. Whatever comes out.
Kuria taria no to she mataria no to yama katoya na sa taria no to ma saria no no mosa shutu yamato shu 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 aria no ko karia no sutoma soria mata oria mo toria ma saria botoya gadaria suria mata toria masa shu. Okay. Okay, thanks. Okay, I can speak English again. Oh my gosh, that happens sometimes. Like it's like I actually get stutters to try and speak English. Okay, thank you. I see them as I see them as light, and it's encodings of old fragments of contracts that our souls had written out from the Akashic records based upon our previous souls' experiences in the human incarnation. And as we wake up to our consciousness, we are able to unpack and decode what those contracts are. And so quite often the experiences that we're having on earth, we don't actually have to have those experiences with people. And so, you know, when we're coming through these frustrations around others, they're really there as mirrors to teach us the reflection of the frustrations within ourselves. And so we always want to be releasing these cords from a loving and expanded self. And so when I teach about cord cutting, I always teach it from the perspective of come into awareness of your higher self and come into the awareness of the other person's higher self and meet each other there. Because in the human perspective of it, ego is going to come in the way, story is going to come in the way. And then those lower frequencies of judgment, anger, grief, frustration, hurt, blame, guilt, right? And so we want to expand. We're always wanting to expand through the person, place, and thing that we perceive to be contracting our energy. So energy is the name of the game. We are energetic beings. And the more conscious we become, the more we are able to live presently. The more presently we become, we're able to clear out any potential future contracts that maybe aren't going to be serving our soul's mission and our galactic mission. And more, our soul is really, we're just unpacking everything, right? The mother role, the father role, the mother wound, the father wound, we get to clear all of that, the ancestral lines, everything. And so what comes after us is not going to be based upon what was. And so with the cord cutting, lovingly and gently, we can do this from an expanded space. It doesn't mean that the person, place, or thing is just in whatever experiences we've had. That's not what I'm saying, but we are able to set ourselves free from that illusion that it needs to hold us back or affect our present and future experiences. And so, you know, if there's something coming up with somebody else, as we release those cords, we can then look at it from a more observational perspective that's beyond what our ego would have us believe to be true, right? But we get so caught up. We're over here doing our spiritual work, right? Oh, I feel so bliss doing my meditation. And then we come over here, oh, but I can't believe Frank hasn't called me for 3 days, and how dare he, and doesn't he know who I am? And right, we've got to embody what we're talking about. We've got to embody who we truly are on a multidimensional level. We can't separate the two. We have to come into the middle and come into neutrality through that. And so the releasing of people, places, and things through the cord cutting process is really, we're just setting ourselves free, that we're no longer available for any outdated contracts that aren't serving us. And that's really breaking through the matrix system, right? The contracts we took out. Well, I played the mum in the last life, so I want the mum to play the role in this life, and we'll swap over. Yes, technically that's what we created, because this consciousness wanted to experience every single perspective of thought. That's kind of what we're doing. We're source that wanted to experience every single possible potential outcome, reality, existence, experience. But as divine sovereign beings, when we're awake, we get to choose if we want to experience that in this conscious waking timeline or not. And if we don't, then in another parallel existence, that has already taken place, but we just don't have to experience it because it's already taken place. That's the beauty when we start diving into the quantum realm of what reality is, from the physics perspective, from how consciousness is wanting to evolve itself. And that's why I think humanity struggles so much. Like, planet Earth is one of the last planets to really get what this is, what we're doing in this holographic simulation, you know. And as light workers, we very much incarnated here from our previous experiences of planets to come and anchor in that light and that truth, and decode what the collective consciousness thinks reality is as these humans, and come into this higher octave of what it really is about, which is to come into harmony with itself, right? And so that's our roles. But, you know, we got a bit kind of in the karmic rinse and repeat cycle for quite a long time. Oops, right? Let's all just forgive ourselves for Atlantis and move on, shall we? Right? I think that's a big one. I think we could let go of that one now. You know, I think we've done our time as humans, coming in again and again and again, and every time, shit, I didn't wake up this time. Okay, let's try it again. Okay, we got this time, and this time we do. This reality right here, the consciousness that I'm having, the consciousness that you're having, the consciousness that everyone on this call, we're in a higher consciousness because we're talking about this stuff. We're awake. And so really, when we move beyond whatever this stuff is with each other, we got to just kind of laugh at it and figure it out. Thank you so much for playing that role for me. You pissed me off because I pissed myself off because I let it happen. I'm releasing that. So that's when we move beyond this struggle puddle, this contraction of energy. And, you know, the families, the different dynamics of families in the ways those equations have shown up for us are probably the most complicated ones to unpack and decode, but it really comes through us. But we got to let go of this expectation and attachment that our family is ever going to truly give us what we needed from them. That's when we really have to become sovereign. And when we do, we set ourselves free, because we're not trying to get love from mama or papa anymore, get love from our family or be seen. It's really, we heal that inner child within ourselves. We release those cords. We heal the mother wound, the father wound, the ancestral lines. And that's when we really start to go galactic, because our frequency moves beyond that paradigm of existence. And so, Lorraine, a lot of people come to me when they're in the middle of that. They understand, and they still have a little bit coming through, right? And so the power of releasing the cords is really, you're just cleaning up your reality. Hey, exactly the same as cleaning up your physical items. You're just cleaning up what your emotional attachments are and what your cords are. Sometimes you don't even need to know what they are. You could just keep clearing all day long through stepping into joy bliss, expanding your energy. And then those experiences they literally cannot vibrate where you're vibrating at, because you're in a higher dimension. There's no superiority to a higher dimension. It's just science. You're just literally, you're vibrating higher, right? And sometimes when things come back around, we're shown, we just needed to learn it from a deeper perspective. My philosophy on that is we've probably lowered our frequency again. So that's why it's coming back, because we're circulating back in the energy of where it was happened. And so when we're an observer of that, we can expand our frequency back out. It's like, oh, okay, actually, this is fine. When we're in it though, whew, man, is it full on?
Yes, and at times it's like, oh, I thought I cleared that, but not really. So, yes, all right. Well, we are in a time of clearing, and it's clearing, clearing, clearing on such a deep personal level and for the collective. Isn't it amazing what's going on in the collective as well? And you were talking, all right, so again, here we are in our world, and we're coming up with an election in the US.
Mm-hmm.
And no matter what happens, I think every light worker knows what our mission is, regardless. And this is harmony and peace, right? And unity. So, wow. Stepping into the joy and the bliss allows us to do that. So we clear out these old programs, like you were saying, and there's a lot of DNA activation that's going on. What you gave us today was really a DNA activation. We could feel that. It literally is light. It's light codes through sound that come through you. Your voice shifted, your voice changed, and we could feel that in our body. It really was helping us embody those frequencies. So when we do that, that is literally activating our DNA, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, sound healing will be the future medicine.
The future medicine.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And there's already so much going on with sound in hospitals and medicine. So again, that's really revealing and promising. So
Yeah.
wonderful.
Yeah.
Good. Well, we are going to be in an after party with Zoe Davenport, where you can ask your questions, laugh with us, and share. And we've got a special offer from Zoe. Zoe, you're going to be doing a DNA activation. This is a live webinar.
Mm-hmm.
For the people who are there, and you actually tune to every one of those people. And there's a little precursor that you do to prepare everyone for this. Share with us what goes on here in this activation.
Yeah, so when you register, whether you can join live or you catch the replay, I have everyone's energy in the circle. And so it's like, imagine as you walking into this huge temple space, right? And so you'll receive the downloads whether you're live or not, but then you can still catch the replay. And I'll tune into the frequencies of the group collectively and see what wants to come through for your individual journey, but also as a collective consciousness. And then we'll be anchoring that energy and that growth of the receiving of the light into the planet as well. So then we'll be kind of circulating that through the crystalline grid, sending ripples of energy out through the planet. As with any of my activations I do, we're always doing, our inner work, receiving energy for our our individual experience, for the group experience, and then for the wider collective experience as well. So we will probably do preparations through, I normally kind of have everyone sit through silent meditation and breath work to prepare. And I send out preparation details before. Generally, what you received today was like a concentrated light frequency experience. Normally I like my clients to prepare their bodies a little bit before, even just kind of like 12 or 24 hours before, just to eat light, wear loose, comfortable clothing, be in a place where you won't be disturbed, so that you can really like sink into the energy that wants to come through for you. They're always incredibly powerful. And so being mindful that, you know, when you join us, like, you know, just be mindful of how you are for a couple of days afterwards as well, because, you know, you can have what's in massage, we used to call it a healing crisis. So as we're detoxing the body, because DNA activation, it's clearing density, it's purging your cells of any dense memory, of any places within yourself that aren't supporting your highest vibration, your highest potential. So we clear that through by expanding your energy, right? We're always taught in like Reiki, like, okay, now shut your energy down. I do the opposite. I keep you expanded so that you can keep receiving all of the light energy that wants to come through for you. And so, yeah, we're going to have a live transmission in October for you to join us. And I also put together some other activations as part of that package as well. One of them was the I Am Enough program, which is really coming back to your birth, the experience of you as your human form, and reconnecting you to the womb of Gaia, to the spirit of you that came in when you were in your mum's womb, and reestablishing that connection. Because a lot of us, pretty much every single person on this planet, hasn't really been born with mothers that were totally conscious and present. So, you know, and even with doctors, right, most of them put fear on people around having cesareans, and then, you know, the umbilical cord gets cut before it naturally falls away. And so it's like when you cut the branch of a tree, you have to ask permission so the tree can bring the energy back into itself. And it's the same with the umbilical cord. We're like, that's our strongest connection to source in the physical world, right? And we get born and it just gets snipped off, right? And it disconnects. And then we're like held by some random person with this weird mask, right? And so the I Am Enough program, it's a very deep shamanic ceremonial process that you are to do over 4 weeks. There's 4 activations and additional homework. It's a self-study program that really just reestablishing that connection to yourself and in your humanness and in your path moving forward. And then we have our live transmission in October that you can come and receive the live energy of what wants to come through for you. And yeah, Loren, there's been so many different beings connecting in with me through the consciousness of my higher self this last month. My activations, they are shifting. As I've shifted and able to hold a higher frequency, like, wow, it's blowing me away, to be honest with you. I'm like, okay, I'm really not holding my energy back anymore.
No, and we heard those beings come through, many different beings, some fairy and very ancient beings. I mean, that was incredible. What a beautiful process. You know, I've never really thought about that umbilical cord like that, as you were mentioning. And that is a wound that we all have, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that literally cut us off, not only from the energy of the mother, but the energy of our higher self.
Yeah.
Right? Physically, on
Yeah.
a physical level. Now, maybe as children, as babies, infants, we're still connected to that higher self, but from that physical level, that just gives us new insight. So to go and heal that, and to reconnect is so wholesome
Yeah.
and liberating.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, this program is incredibly powerful. It teaches a lot about death and rebirth. And when I ran it live, we did one of the activations, I think the third one, because the first 2 is more preparation. The third one, we go back to your birth. You know, you visit your birth to reconnect with you and your mom and source consciousness. And the next day, a very dear client of mine actually passed away. And she was dying through that process that I was taking people back to their rebirth. So there's so much potent energy within that activation. It's like, it's a really, really beautiful, beautiful revisiting of remembering ourselves beyond our human form, but really connecting with our human and connecting with everything that's wanting to come through us at a soul level as well. So yeah, if anyone is guided to do that, then it's a beautiful journey. It's a beautiful, beautiful journey. And it's something that I haven't shared for a little while. And when I was tuning into what would be the best for for our audience listening to this transmission, and that came through really strongly. So yeah.
Well, thank you. That is a special offer from Zoe Davenport. It is available on the link on this webpage. Check it out and you'll be registered for her live DNA webinar. No need to be present there. It will be recorded. And those programs are very powerful, allowing you to go in depth. Zoe is a great guide for this, and she will help you reconnect, connect with your higher self, and to embody these energies. As you heard, she brings forward beautiful, new, and empowering light language and DNA activations. We had a little bit of that today. I do want to mention that we are having an after party. We're going to stay here on Zoom and hang out with Zoe for a little bit. And anyone who purchases the special offer from Zoe gets a ticket to that after party. Of course, you can get an after party ticket. Look on this webpage and you'll see that. And we really enjoy this time with everyone because it is our little play space and our community where we can connect and talk. And in our times where we're all going through such deep clearing, I mean, there's so much stuff coming up, right? It's really good to connect with like-hearted people. And that's where we create this space for you and everyone. So Zoe, thank you so much for this beautiful activation today. We are flying high and still feeling so much in bliss. We are centered, feeling our higher self connection. I truly hope everyone can feel that and had that beautiful experience because you truly did connect us on such a deeper level. Thank you.
Thank you, Loren. It's been a pleasure to be here again. I was super excited for the day, and yeah, so much information came through. I'm actually looking forward to catching the replay myself and taking notes because so much energy comes through. And I'm like, oh, I need to remember that.
The activation itself was powerful, very different from you. So really good work. And this is a tribute to everyone who is doing this inner work. Zoe shows you what you too can expect from your opening and expansion to your higher self and opening your energy field and sharing it once you stabilize it within yourself, free of cords and releasing all that no longer serves. Zoe, as we say goodbye today, I want to just give you a moment. Maybe there's more light language to come through. I don't know. But any last words that you have for our sacred circle?
Surrender into who you are, where you are, and know that everything is working out for you. Know that you are exactly where you need to be. And keep developing that relationship to you, to your heart, to your higher self. Because that's how you get to access and unlock all the parts of you that are waiting to come online, all of your spiritual gifts, your superhuman powers. Continue to show up daily. Make this your priority. Make yourself a priority.
Yes. Thank you for that message and reminder. And we make ourselves priority. Thank you, Zoe Davenport. This has been a beautiful quantum conversation. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Yay. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you, everyone, for joining us. We invite you to stick around with us on our Zoom room. We'll be there in just a moment. So now it is time to dance our way to the cosmic heart. Enjoy. All right. Well,
Were you okay?
okay.
What's
So
going
now I
on?
have a question. Was there music in the beginning?
I don't know. I actually went to the bathroom and then I
In
came
the
back and
very
then
beginning? In the
I,
beginning?
oh, I
Or
don't
I
know.
know at the end.
I don't know. Barbara might be able to tell you. She's been finger on the pulse today.
Oh my goodness. Because it should have all been set so that you guys heard the thing when I shared my screen. I'm going to bring everyone into our panelists. Everyone's going to be promoted to a panelist, so you guys can share and hang out with us. Oh gosh. Okay. Let's see. All right. All right. So, welcome. Hello, Sarita. Barbara Marie. Well, I sure hope that there was music in the beginning, or did I just start in the very beginning? It was weird in the very beginning. I don't want to talk about it. I had to get up and go, and
Yeah, I think the
YouTube is
music is fine.
in
I
the
hear the
beginning.
music.
Okay, okay, no, I don't know. It's just bizarre. YouTube has changed they're changing their studio into the YouTube studio. And so I had to crack that nut and like just relearn some things, and it's still not cracked fully, obviously.
Oh,
So and then that wow, I just couldn't function, Zoe, after that. It's like careful of our energy, right? It's like, wee. All right. Well, welcome everyone. This is your space with Zoe. So you guys, please unmute yourself if you want. Ask your question. Barbara Marie, how's your headache?
I can't see everyone.
It was a little bit
Oh,
better during the show. And then at the end, it was coming back and it's still there. It's a very different, strong headache. It started about an hour before the show, and that I rarely ever get them this bad. So I wonder if it's connected to the show, if I still need to be releasing something or cutting some ties or something. But it's bad. I did take a strong painkiller, and maybe that's related. But I think it's more maybe to do with the show, and I'm needing to release something. So after this, I'll go outside and see if I can just sit out there and see if I can release this, whatever it is.
yeah, there's a lot of energy going on right now. I love, Barbara, you have like a similar stair setup to me. We're in these like weird parallel universes, like with your stairs.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like a kind of gray background, and love it.
Yeah, that's actually just a picture, but yeah. Relative to...
I was like checking out your house. I was like, oh, I love her house. I love the little wine cooler there. And
yeah, everybody loves they think I've got this wonderful wine collection.
Oh.
And I don't drink alcohol, so no, and it is just a picture.
Oh. I know. And
Invisible stairs. That's what they're called, invisible stairs.
Oh, they look awesome. They look like my stairs. These are real stairs.
Okay, they're not invisible.
Yeah,
Real
I know what you mean,
stairs.
Loren. Yeah, I know what you mean. They're called invisible stairs or something like that.
Yeah.
Good. Okay. All right. Well, anyone else? Let's see.
I'd love to. Hi, Zoe.
Hi, Kim.
Hi, Kim. How's it going, girl?
Good. How are you?
I'm great. It's been a while.
Yes, it has. I love everything about today. The activation was amazing, but the parallels with where my thoughts have been these last couple days and what you brought up with the decluttering, these last 24 hours, just reflecting on the work I've been doing and just realizing that my focus just needs to be connecting to my higher self at the moment. I'm, I do a lot of different things and I'm like, okay, it's good. And this last 24 hours, it's just absolutely been like, I woke up